Remember when Frank Ocean said, the best one wasn't the sequel? Well, me neither, because he didn't say that. But I'm gonna have to agree with Fake Ocean, because most of the time, the original is better than the sequel, except in some certain scenarios where the opposite is true. Starting off with The Empire Strikes Back. In this movie, we get one of the biggest plot twists in cinematic history. We also get a character with more aura than screen time with Boba Fett. Let's be real, this motherfucker did nothing, but everybody loves him. And we get incest. Do I need to say anything else? Probably, but I won't. DS2 by Future. Can we get a show of hands of anybody who's listened to DS1? I didn't think so. It's definitely worth a listen. I'm not trying to dog on it, but like, we're comparing pretty decent mixtape to one of the best trap albums of all time. It's not close, okay? The only thing DS1 has over DS2 is the cover art. DS2 has some of my favorite trap songs ever. I Serve the Bass, Groupies, the Percocet and Stripper Joint. They all go crazy, along with like the whole fucking album, but that doesn't really matter. Chocolate Milk. Stay with me now, okay? Chocolate Milk is the sequel to the original, which is white cow titty milk. And if we're just doing this based on what I would rather drink out of a cup just straight up, I'm taking chocolate milk, okay? Now, am I gonna put chocolate milk in my fucking Honey Nut Cheerios? Hell no. Okay, if you do that, you need help. Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic 2. Gameplay wise, this is just a straight up copy and paste from the last game. The only way you can tell the difference between both of the games is the text color. One of them's green and one of them's blue. I don't even remember which is which. But the thing that makes this game way better is the cast. Kreia, top 5 Star Wars character ever. Darth Sion. This motherfucker is so cool. Listen to his sexy ass.
The call of Korriban is strong, but it is the call of the dead.
This game's story is way more interesting than the last one. It's like way more introspective and dives into the philosophy of the Jedi. Mob Psycho 100 Season 2. Do second seasons count as sequels? They do in this video. This season is way better for me because of how much it just hits you in the gut emotionally. The whole dynamic of Mob and Reagan gets challenged. They end up growing into a better relationship because of that. Also, episode 5. The animation in this shit is insane. Even if we just take out the action scenes, which look amazing, and we just look at how the characters are animated when they're just talking, it shows so much emotion, which you don't really get in a lot of other animations because their body language is really stiff. They're just standing like this, talking normally. But then in Mob Psycho, they're doing all this. They're animating, showing body language, which adds a lot to the characters. But my favorite part of Mob Psycho just as a whole is the comedy. Normally I don't find anime that funny, but in here, this shit hits.
Damn, this isn't good! Catch him, Reagan! Right! I was on the boys' volleyball team for about 5 minutes. Bring it!
This anime has such a good dub because of my baby girl Reagan. Too bad Mob's dub low-key sounds like Michael Jackson, but we're just gonna ignore that. Call of Duty Black Ops 2. This is my favorite video game of all time, which is kind of crazy because I don't really play FPSs anymore, but this shit still hits. First off, campaign was fire. Raul Menendez is an amazing antagonist, and also you can have different endings depending on what choices you make, which I always like. Zombies. I remember my friend coming over, we would set up the air mattress in the living room, and we would play Town for hours straight. Town is just a small ass map with a pack-a-punch, and that is it, and then lava everywhere. And we played that shit for hours. That's how good this game was. And I didn't even have DLC, but when I did get the DLC, I experienced peak gaming. Origins. I played Origins more than all of the other maps combined. And I can't not talk about the multiplayer. I played Search and Destroy all the time. I met so many people on there because it forced you to be in game chat, and oh my god, it got toxic. I didn't even get into trick shotting until like 2016. The longevity of this game is crazy. Megalobox Nomad is taking the first season and just flipping it on his head. So a quick rundown. In the first season, our main character Joe is trying to become the boxing world champion, and then he does that. And then the second season, his mentor dies and he becomes addicted to painkillers. And then he spends the whole season trying to fight that addiction. It's fucking gas. Like, it's so good. I really love this season, especially how they just changed the setting, which in turn changes the music. It goes from like some crazy like dubstep type of shit in the first season to just straight up Latin music. It's crazy. La, 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 la. This season is so underrated. The first season got a bunch of love when it first dropped, but then like radio silence for the second season, which is miles better than the first one. And last but not least, Mass Effect 2. The game in the trilogy that has the least to do with like the overarching story, but it's still my favorite. It took the lackluster gameplay in Mass Effect 1 and improved it a shit ton. And the bread and butter of Mass Effect is the companions, and they get way more fleshed out in the sequel. Tali is the one that stands out for me. In the first game, she is just exposition on how the Quarians live, which is her race. But then in the second game, she's like an actual character. I might make a separate video just about Mass Effect 2. That's how much I love this game. Top 3 game of all time for me. Alright, that's about it. If I ever get lazy, I'll just make a part 2 of this, and I'll see y'all next week. What am I cooking? No quick revive. No bullets. No way! Dude, I'm so washed! Now, if I was a little kid, I would tell you that Return of the Jedi is better because Luke's lightsaber color was green. That is the only reason. And this anime has such a good dub because of my glorious Pokey Bear Reagan. Cut that. That's crazy. This is also something I would do back in the day. I would start it at round 20 and hit a crazy route. So I am dead. That's not how I planned it. If we're comparing the cast from this game to the last one, just a couple of characters though. Karth. Absolute snooze fest. Fuck that dude. He's boring as hell. Compared to Atten, who's kind of a piece of shit. He's like a womanizer. Really weird. It's not the best comparison. They're both kind of trash, honestly.